I'll soon be heading back to my homeland of Somerset. Are you interested in passage? We've room for more. Very good. There's a fair wind now. Should be a pleasant sail.
Trapped! Which one could he possibly be?
Seeking a sip of fine Russellfeld red? Prepare for disappointment.
My friend, Raz is happy to see you, but surprised you didn't help me with these creatures. Not that Raz needed any help. You must tell me what brought you to Somerset after you agreed to assist Raz with his usual cloak and dagger business. Ominous. No more than usual, my friend. But there's work for the Queen's Eye, and this one could use an extra blade if you're willing. Queen Irene issued a decree to open the borders of Somerset and allow outsiders to have access to the island. That's what Raz said, but rumors reached the Queen. So this one made the journey and was immediately attacked by strange creatures. Raz doesn't think the two are related, but if you could ask some questions, check on the newcomers, that would help. While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. It may or may not involve scratching and clawing. Let's meet near the entrance to Shimmerin when you have something to report. Raz never saw such monsters in his life. They appear related to water, but this one tends to avoid this stuff. That pearl, though, Raz swears it was calling those creatures. A mystery for another time, perhaps. Now, we need to see to the newcomers. As a matter of fact, Raz made a list. Old Newell, a high elf artisan, spoke out. See what she complained about. Then there's Soxolza, a persecuted Argonian newcomer. Finally, Ranul, a city resident noted in the Divine Prosecution's observation log. Old Newell complained about it. No. Raz doesn't want to prejudice your investigation. You will find out when you talk to her. The artists like to gather shells along the eastern coast. She uses them to make paints and dyes. True. Not enough syllables. Ranul's a Redguard, whose family has lived in Shimmerin for generations. He's a well-respected trader, with a few warehouses along the docks. Talk to him before the Divine Prosecution decides to arrest him. The Divine Prosecution serves as lawkeepers and protectors of social standards. Very persnickety. When rules are broken, they record it in their observation logs. If your name winds up on their list, things get complicated. Something to do with monks and newcomer registration. Raz is looking into that. Last I heard, Soxolza was seen leaving the city and heading west. Probably trying to reach the water. Lizards like water, yes? Not Raz. Gugh. Raz hates the wet stuff. Nothing at all. Unless you think they came to Somerset because of the Queen's decree. No, that would be ridiculous. Let's not lose focus. Just see what Old Newell, Soxolza, and Ranul have to say about newcomers and the mood in Shimmerin. We need to confirm these rumors or else put an end to them. Everyone should be pleased with the Queen's decree. Opening the border shows progress, yes? However, if any of her loyal subjects reject progress, well, Raz needs to know that too. While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. It may or may not involve scratching and clawing. Let's meet near the entrance to Shimmerin when you have something to report. Raz knows very little about city ordinances or how to tell the difference between mead and ale, so let's avoid those topics, yes? Otherwise, this one knows all about the Queen's decree and the initial reaction of the nobles and king lady. Queen Irene, her most excellent leader of the Aldmeri Dominion, has issued a decree opening the once forbidden land of Somerset to traders, visitors, and immigrants of all races. Controversial, yes, but part of her plan for the Dominion's future. For some, High Elves talk of perfection, but they are a complicated people. Various individuals in Somerset take issue with their queen, with change of any sort, actually. The King Lady, for example. Some nobles. Makes my job... King Lady Avenice has made her views on the Queen's decree quite clear. She calls it unreasonable, dangerous. A few of the city's nobles have sided with the King Lady, as has the new Oldark at the monastery. My queen permits discussion, to a point. She has spoken against it. Now Raz needs to know how far she will go to defy the will of the Queen. Does she grumble but welcome the newcomers, or is she using every option at her disposal to block their arrival? Raz will find out, with your help.
My mounts are good, and don't let anyone tell you any different. But if you'd rather walk than ride on an animal cared for by the likes of me, suit yourself.
You saw Queen Irene step out of the orrery? What a wondrous thing.
A newcomer in the warehouse district. Unusual, but how can I help you today, my friend? The Divine? Who told you that? If a Justiciar sent you to try and trick me into confessing... No. The High Elves would never send a newcomer to perform such a task. But I admit it. I made my thoughts known. I arranged to bring my cousin here to work with me. The ship arrived, but all the newcomers were carted away. For questioning, they said. I complained to the kin lady and anyone else who would listen. And what has it gotten me? Nothing! Oh, my family has been here for generations and generations. Before the Queen's decree, outsiders might have been rare, but we were not unheard of. Our business has grown and gets better every day. That's why I sent for my cousin. We need... Somerset is a rare and beautiful jewel in the Abetian Sea. I love it here. The High Elves treat us like children, but they have never been hostile. The Queen's decree has stirred the waters, though. I fear it will get worse before it gets better.
What is it?
Find your own patch of beach. Not that you'd understand the concept, but the path to Alaxon requires dedication and complete concentration. I must find the perfect shells, or my pigments will be substandard. And do you know what that will do to my art? An ultimate concept practiced widely here in Somerset. Alaxon is the state of perfection that every High Elf strives for. The path to Alaxon represents the approach we take to achieve that state. Now, why have you interrupted my work? I believe in caution as much as the next High Elf, but sometimes the rules get in the way of common sense. My apprentice lived here for more than a year. Good help is so hard to find, especially among the newcomers, and she was adept at making dyes.
They took her away. Said they had to scrutinize her qualifications, test her knowledge of culture and etiquette. But I haven't seen her since. My work suffers, so of course I complained to the monks. Now, they told me I could fill out some forms and appeal to the kin lady. But who has time? Perfection requires constant vigilance, so back to it. This is unheard of. Why have you closed the monastery?
Such anger! Raz never expected to hear such words from the Queen's loyal subjects. The sentiment isn't universal, but enough feel this way for Raz to be concerned. Did you learn anything interesting from the people I sent you to talk to? Sequestered? Just a different word for imprisoned, yes. Ranulph's cousin just arrived, but O'Newell's assistant has lived on Somerset since long before the Queen ever issued her decree. What about the lizard? What did Soxolza have to say? Why would the Aldar gather up newcomers and non-High Elf residents alike and send them to the monastery? Does the kin lady condone this behavior? Raz's head itches, and not in a good way. Our course is clear, Five Claw. We must go to the monastery. Raz admires your enthusiasm, but this one needs you to enter the monastery on your own. Raz has other fish to catch. This one will help you get past the sentry, though. When you notice that the sentry is distracted, just sleep quietly inside.
Listen round, I've a warning to sound about...
You there! I have a
I want this work!
Did you see a golden knight?
I have no idea what that was, and I'm not sure I want to know.
Sentry! Raz owes you for that game of cards, and has come to pay.
Well, I don't recall any... You say I won some gold?
No, not now, please. Your spiritual well-being can wait until after my nap. You'll have to ask one of the monks that the new Aldorc brought with him. They deal with all the newcomer testing and evaluations. I'm just a simple monk trying to catch up on my sleep. That was it. Aldorc Tilcala arrived right after the Queen issued her decree. He came highly recommended by Kinlady Avanice, or so I heard. It's not unusual for monks to form attachments and move together, but the Aldorc and his monks keep to themselves. They've taken the Undercroft for their own purpose. Again with the questions about the newcomers. Why do you care about the complexities of Altma bureaucracy? Still, if I had to make a guess, I'd say they were taking into the Undercroft for registration. The monastery should be a place of peace and meditation.
You've got to the count of 3 to leave. 1...
Unusual knick-knack for an Aldorch's office, wouldn't you agree? I noticed you skulking around while I was engaged in some skulking of my own. I suppose we both came to the monastery with a similar purpose in mind. The sequestered newcomers. I came to find out what happened to a friend. I assume that's what brought you here as well? A house of worship shouldn't be used as an internment camp, and it shouldn't be Interesting. I've never seen anything quite like it. I find it intriguing and a bit disturbing. But we aren't here to discuss curios. Strange creatures not with... The sentry doesn't appear to have stopped you. That's the question. A curious pearl. I wonder where the Aldorch acquired it. Probably not important. I'll meet you in the Undercroft, and we can see what's going on with the newcomers. Something's wrong down here. I sense magic. Vile magic. Cages.
Thank the Divines! You aren't one of the monks. Please, let me out of here.
There's someone alive over there.
It's a nightmare. We came to Somerset to seek new opportunities. The monks gathered them a few...
Is that a scarf?
Oh, thank you for setting me free.
A Daedra? Here? And that? An excellent question. And then I suggest... I'll explain everything later. For now, we need to hurry. With the pearl, you hold off these creatures. Come on, let's talk outside. Those poor people. This wasn't just about newcomers and opposing the Queen's decree. That was Daedric magic back there. I just wish we had arrived a few moments earlier. I promised to explain what I know. I suppose that now's as good a time as any. I'm a member of the Psijic Order. Our Rite Master sent me to investigate a warning we received about a plot involving Somerset. My inquiries led me here. The Psijic Order is an ancient magical monastic society. We served as advisors to the rulers of Tamriel, but that was before we removed our island home from the world. Now this threat has drawn us back. But why are you involved in all of this? An Eye of the Queen? Interesting. I diffused the Daedric magic and transported the pearl to Artaeum, the Psijic island for safekeeping and study, so we can learn more about it. But we can discuss this further once we get out of here. Artaeum for a few centuries doesn't prepare you for physical activity. Let the Eye of the Queen know what we discovered, and I'll catch up with you later.
Ah, this one's new partner returns. What interesting scandal did you want? That isn't the kind of scandal Raz was hoping for. Accuse? Not exactly. A Psijic? There was a life-sucking pearl. Kin Lady